Good afternoon. My name is Will, and today we are going to do some woodworking. With this being one of the first videos, I want to give a bit of an overview of what I envision the channel to be, and then also get into this project, which is going to be a really fun series that I am stepping into, and hopefully you guys will come along with me. Basically, for the channel, what I have envisioned is a process, and I will show you that process, and hopefully you will come along and learn with me. I do want to finish and show you the finished product at the end, and it's going to be gorgeous. I'll show you in a second a little bit of the pre-sanding I did of what we can expect, but I also want you to come along and gain a bit of appreciation for all the work that goes into a project such as this, but also the different steps and the beauty that you see in those different steps. With the channel, I want to do big tables like this, small coaster sets, epoxy, different types of inlays with metal. I have some brass and some copper inlays that I'm excited for coming up. And also I want to dive into a bit of knife making as well. We just got a forge set up right back there. And so we are starting to get into that a bit more, and I'm enjoying it, and I think it'll be fun. And it goes along with the woodworking for the nice handles on that as well. For this project, I'm really excited, and I have been trying to figure out what to do with this chunk of wood for a while. I bought it about 3.5 years ago. It was kiln dried then, and then I stored it vertically undercover again for the last 3.5 some odd years. Originally I was going to make a indoor table with it, and then a couple weeks ago I came up with an idea of making a outdoor table. We need one where we are at, and I think it'd be a great unique way to be able to have family and friends over this summer and just to be able to sit around it and make a lot of memories. So this is a unique table. As I said, it's a maple spalted, and I want to get into what that spalting is a little bit. Some people may know, some may not. So the spalting is a process of basically deterioration in the wood. It is a fungus that gets in, usually introduced via just a rotting process. Sometimes it gets put in there with a hit, or if the tree sustains injury, that type of thing. That can also start it, but usually it's the rotting process after a tree dies. I've heard stories of people throwing a perfectly good chunk of wood in the water, let it sit 2 or 3 years, cutting it up until they can get the spalting that we have on a slab like this. It's sought after in woodworking quite a bit for guitars, cabinet making, inlays, tables, all that. Interesting part of it is it actually is a weaker wood. The process of it opens up the grain structure, and the fungus actually kind of sucks all the nutrients and strength out of the wood. So it does make it a weaker wood, and that'll be something as we sand it and finish it and process this slab that we'll get into, because there's going to be varying degrees of hardness within the wood. So I need to be careful with the sanding, careful with the finish to make sure it's good and not lumpy from any of the damage that is on it, or that I would give to it with the sander if I'm not careful. And yeah, it's just a fun look. The fungus gets in, creates these dark lines of various colors. Sometimes they're circles, sometimes large streaks, and I'll show you over here in a little bit. But it's a fun slab, it's unique, and that's what drew me to it. So I wanted to show you guys what it is and give you just a little bit of a background on what the spalting is, so that we can learn together. And that's what I want to do. I want to give you the process of what I have learned in the past working on wood, and hopefully some of the stuff as we move forward I can learn more, and we can do that together. Let's take a look at the slab now. I'll give you an overlay of the entire slab first. It is a big boy. It is 10 feet long. It is 4 feet wide, all the way up till about right here. Then it goes down to about 28 inches at this end. This is actually the bottom of the slab, and so I'm going to get this worked on first, flip it over, and let you guys see the fun that is the other side. We're going to do some trimming up on this side, figure out the length we want. There is a large bark inclusion in it with a lot of moss and just really cool stuff. Again, I enjoy the unique, and this is unique. And so once we get to the top end, I'll show you a little bit more about what that's going to look like. But spalting, as you can see, it is all over this wood. Big chunk here all around the inclusion, all the sides. This is what it looks like when it is sanded. Look at that. Unique. That's what I love about it. You never know what you're going to get with it. So this is where the fungus has gotten in and kind of started to eat away the wood a bit. This is the untouched wood out here, so this is going to be a lot harder than this in here. What we just need to keep in mind as we sand, that we don't dig in here and leave a low spot type thing, which is very easy to happen. This is a chunk from another project I've done in the past. As you can see, look how big that grain structure is in there. A lot softer. I can push it down with my hand. But just wanted to show you kind of a cross section of what that looks like, and it obviously extends all the way through the wood to different degrees, and thought it was good representation of what we have here. So with that in mind, I just wanted to have this be kind of the first video. I'm hoping by the end of the first video here to have this side completely sanded down. We're going to go through and talk about the different process for flattening it a little bit, for sanding, for cutting the edges of how we want, and then go from there. Second video, we'll flip it over, let you see the front side of it, top side of it, which I'm excited about. It's I prefer that side quite a bit, so I'm excited to show that to you guys. But for now, just want to give an introduction to the video, to this series, but also the channel, and just what you hopefully can expect to see, and hopefully you want to see. And again, I'm excited to bring you the process to unlock the beauty of the wood that's already there, and how to spot it, how to bring it to the surface, and really showcase the beauty that God has given us in this world, and in something that's dead and unique, but we're going to turn it into something usable for a family. So thank you very much, and yeah, we'll jump ahead to some sanding. All right, I have carved out a little bit of time to do some sanding, and I am excited. Basically, what I did for this board, as I am looking at the project ahead of me with it being an outdoor dining table and all that, I'm not looking for perfection on this one. Some of my inside pieces I would be sanding and leveling and doing everything down very precisely. This one, not so much. Due to the size of it and also the uniqueness with the holes and some of the rot that's over there and just the sheer size, it's going to be functional, and it's going to work, and it's going to be all taken care of, but it's not going to necessarily be the perfect level or the perfect, you know, all taken care of with all that stuff in it. So basically what I'm going to do, it's fairly flat. I did get it all flattened and everything when I purchased it 3.5 years ago. Might be a little hard to see on camera, but basically this corner over here is a little bit of a kick up on it. So to take care of that, I'm going to use this guy right here, hand planer, to be able to take down as much as I can, as quickly as I can. After that, I'll step to a belt sander. I had a nicer DeWalt one, but that one motor went out on me, so this is my stand-in for now. I'll start with some pretty heavy 36 grit, just to, again, take down as much as I can, quickly as I can. Move on to the 80 grit from there. And then for the final ones, I'll move on to the orbital. Nice, easy way to do this, obviously, is a nice level. As you can see, fairly flat for most of it. Turn it upside down to get you guys a better view. Fairly flat, and then you can see the gap there. So this just kicked up a little bit, so I just like to take that down. That's pretty much the worst spot on the whole thing. You can see that got even better. So anyways, that's kind of how I figure out where I want to take stuff out, and then these are the tools that I use to do it on this. There are lots of other tools to do it. Smaller ones, I'll be using my 12.5-inch planer there. Later on, probably for a video, I want to build and show you guys how to do like a router table, where you can do whatever size you want, and you build a sled for your router to go back and forth. But again, just for the sheer size of this one and my budget, and after all, this is still a hobby for me. So anyways, just wanted to give you an overview of that. Let's get into it. I'm excited to see what we get out of it and the grains that we can get with it tonight. So just wanted to show you here that we are, you know, quite a bit better here. Took down, you know, very much again, very close for what we are now, especially without sanding yet. So that was nice just to take that down a little bit and go from there. All right, let's get the sander going and see what grains we can get. As you can tell already, we got the spalting popping, and yeah, this is gonna be a pretty one. All right, my video actually cut out right at the end there. I swept it off afterwards, so I'm glad it caught most of it at least. Oh, sorry about that lighting. But anyway, so we got the first sand on it. That was with 36 grit sandpaper, so pretty high grit. That just takes down as much as you can off of that. You saw me using the planer as well for some of that. One of the main reasons I don't do that for a lot of it is that because of the spalting and the different hardnesses, I don't want to chip out any of the wood, basically. So I want to kind of keep it as even as I can, and that's why I prefer even the belt sander over the orbital, because it's wider, has a bigger base, so it doesn't dig in as much. So that's why I tried to do as much as I could with that. Sorry about that color there. So let's just take a quick look at that, and then I'm going to swap out to 80 grit and do another round of that. But as you can see, it's definitely started to come alive. That's a fun little thing there. This is one of my favorite, this whole section here. Super unique and fun here. Because of all this, and this is the bottom of the slab, I'm not going to worry too much about this in here. On the top, you'll see what's going on there, and that's going to be, obviously more of my attention is going to go there. Here, there's going to be some, parts sticking up, and that's honestly fine with me. That's okay for right now. And then I didn't do all the way to the edge because this is going to get, cut here somewhere. So once we flip it over. So anyways, let me do one more run over it with the higher grit sandpaper and get a little bit more smoother and a little bit more of the divots and everything kind of knocked out of it. This end's really fun too, so I'm excited for that on the top. Anyways, let's get at her. All right, I'm glad I checked. I guess the camera kind of shut off after 7 minutes, something like that. So anyways, I haven't done it all yet. I just done basically this half over here. And so I think I kind of, camera cut off with me kind of moving around this way. So I'll keep going over there. I think I got it figured out why the camera cut out, so I'll get on that. But anyways, I just wanted to get a bit of an update. I did grab a mask just because as I get to the finer sawdust, I don't want to be inhaling that. That's no fun for lungs and just for, sneezing, everything like that. I do have goggles and earphones or headphones in, noise canceling type thing. But it is coming out pretty good. You can definitely tell, hopefully you can tell on the camera, it's definitely looking a lot better. And again, so this is the softer wood in here that the spalting has kind of gotten into than the harder wood out here. But we're getting rid of the majority of the big kind of gouges and everything like that. I want to do it, I'll do it with this, and hopefully by the end of this, it'll be pretty good. We'll flip it over, work on the other side, cut it to where we want it, and then we will flip it over eventually and do orbital sand on this side just to get it to where we want with the smoothness. But for right now, this is good to get it down, let us see what we're working with, and then go from there. So, all right, let's finish up the rest of this, and then we'll do one final look at the whole thing. All right, well, not sure if you guys could tell, but my camera shut off again. I'm not sure why. I had on airplane mode, and I'm just using my phone, but I will definitely look into that and see what I need to do to stop that from happening. Because again, I want you guys to see how it kind of reveals itself as we go around. But nonetheless, we have now got a rough flattening of it done. We have gotten a very high grit, a 36 grit sand on it, and then we have an 80 grit sand on it as well to bring it up to a very smooth finish on it. In case you guys don't know, when I refer to the grit, that is how basically abrasive the sandpaper is, and that is based off how many pieces of abrasive are in 1 square inch. And so 36 of them in a square inch, 80 is 80 of them. That continues all the way up to astronomical numbers. I've gone up to 8,000 before on different projects, and so the higher the number, the finer and smoother end product you're going to get. You also maybe had seen me use this guy to clean my sandpaper. This is a sandpaper cleaning stick. It is made of a hard rubber that's designed to clean out your sanding belts and any sandpaper in general. As you get to the higher grit, the sawdust and everything else can get jumbled up in there and just clog it up and make your sandpaper smooth, what you don't want. And so that cleans all that out of there, keeps the life going of your sandpaper, and helps the efficiency go as well. But with that said, we now have this all sanded down to an 80 grit, so let's take a look at it. There is some gorgeous stuff coming out of this piece, as I knew it would. This is probably one of my favorite chunks. I hope this shows up on the top. Again, this is the bottom of the piece. Almost looks like a world map. You could kind of connect the dots and do something there. But super fun, unique. All the way around this, you get unique patches of the long streaks on the sides. Going there with the darker color of the hardwood. This is on the top, and I'm really excited to see that on the top. It's even more pronounced. Almost looks like a comet headed that way. And all the way down, we just got some really fun, unique things going on. This section, I'm not totally sure what I'm going to do with. I may end up cutting it back here just for ease of access. Again, outdoor dining table. I don't want it to be an awkward, where your plate goes. So once we get this flipped over, we will take a look at the shape that we want. We'll end up cutting it to where we want it and go from there. So this is where we're at. It's a great step. I just wanted to show you guys, again, look back at the beginning of the video. What did this look like when we started? A lot different. We drew out a lot of different reds, a lot of the colors of the spalting, and it was all there the whole time. God's created a beautiful world. Let's take a look and work to try to show that to those around us in a finished product. So that is where we're at with this. For the next stage, I am hoping to flip this over. I'll get a buddy here to help me. It's pretty heavy. Or I'll try it and hurt myself. We'll see. We'll flip it over, take a look at the top, decide the shape of it, do some cutting on it, some flattening, quite a bit more sanding. I have probably about an hour and a half into sanding this, which you guys will see a bit of that, and then some of it after the camera cut out. But, and this needs multiple more sanding coats as well. So as we get to the top, we'll spend a lot of time doing that. Take a look at it and kind of, I'll tell you how I'm going to address the middle, which is going to be good, and we'll come up with a plan for that. So again, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the process and be able to see this from where it was to where it is now. It definitely transformed quite a bit, and I'm excited for that. And the top's even better, so I'm excited to take a look at that. Comment down what you want to see. I want to do some more knife making, some more charcuterie boards and cutting boards, different unique lamp. I have a couple lamp ideas, which I haven't done too much, but I'm excited to get into. So let me know in the comment section down below what you want to see, and we will go from there. Like it and share it, and thanks guys for watching. Hope you have an amazing day.